Yo, what's going on, homies? Shichibokai stumped back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking a look at the bird guy, St. Marcus Mars, over in PvP, seeing how he rocks his rolls. And honestly, when I first read this guy on paper, I was incredibly excited to use him over in PvP. His rumble ability is just insane. His special is incredibly valuable for both the shooter team, the strength team, and then obviously the 5 elder team once we get the ball guy, as of me recording this today. So he buffs strength shooter 5 elders by HP up level 7, speed up level 7, which is disgusting. Level 5 defense. If you have 5 or more shooters or elders on the team, all enemies get defense down and CT down at level 3. Navy and world government characters also get a level 3 CD buff, and if he's KO'd, he uses his special one time. His special at level 10 does 3,000 damage on a 28-second cooldown to all enemies, and if 5 or more shooter or elders are on the team, he targets team for attack up, speed up, and CT up level 5, and then lowers enemy CT while level 5. Navy and world government allies, not including himself, get a 20% CD reduction. And when your HP is at 1% or below, targets an attack style teammate with low CT for 100% chance of CT, and then gives them also gives them haste. So it's an incredibly powerful special. It's ridiculously strong. Today we're going to take him in over on the shooter team, and then I'll have another video out with this strength team, and then obviously once we get the elders, we'll showcase the elders team as well. I was doing these fights during PvP championships, so hopefully these teams give you a little bit of an idea against the meta rather than the challenge fights that I normally take on. The challenge fights, look, they're great. They're a really good way to sort of compare units as like a baseline, but going into championship, that's where stuff gets real spicy. So this is the final team that I did fall upon as just the best of the shooter comp. But look, you have characters like S-Bear, you have characters like Frankie, you've got characters like the sword unit. There are a lot of different options you guys can bring on this particular team to make it function as well as it does. But that's enough about the team. Let's dive in. As you can see, we have 4 attacking style units as the baseline, but in the front lines we have just Lulu, and then Kuma, Akainu, and Kuzen, who all hit really hard. If they're getting that Mars buff, they're going to do some crazy things. Alright, so we're going to start it off against the homie TRA Sheppo, TRA's newest recruit. Shout out to Sheppo. Make sure to go give him some love over on his channel. He's rocking the old school strength team. So I thought this was a pretty good place to start. This strength team obviously is a very formidable defensive based lineup. Look, Kuma in the front over Kobe can be a little bit more menacing, but even the way you rock it, this is a disgusting team. Obviously with the new bird, he goes on the strength team, which we'll showcase towards the end of the video as well. I did find my boy Dean, another homie, who actually took him on and took on his strength team, which is disgustingly strong. So it was good to see that we got the win there. But as you can see, the bird goes very quickly. With Suru on this team, we're getting a lot of cooldown reduction, which is great. Obviously, Usopp Lilith giving cooldowns, Lulu's giving cooldowns as well, and then the bird's also giving cooldowns to himself and to Lulu and Suru as well. The upside to obviously Lulu is they are world government because of the Lucci part of Lulu. So you're getting the cooldown reduction, you're getting the extra CD buffs, and then obviously Suru gets the same thing. Suru early does HP cut too, which just allows you to get a little bit more kill reliability with stuff like Lulu. S-Snake, I don't have level 150. Kind of itching to get S-Snake to 150, to be honest. She's just another character that pops up on all of those crazy teams like Strength and Shooter. So I'd love to have her ready to go, but at the same time, anniversary banners, man, they lack so much value when you compare them to stuff like Super Sugo banners. But obviously when the actual anniversary comes around, that's where you get the double whammy of having both at your disposal. So that's always fun. So as you can see, the bird just giving so much cooldown, lowering so much cooldown, allowing Lulu to go twice in the first 50 seconds is pretty damn disgusting. And then you throw Usopp Lilith into the mix as well, where Usopp Lilith are also reducing cooldown reduction and then also giving you cooldown reduction, doing all that fun stuff. It's very nice when you are going up against some of these bigger teams. So shout out to Sheppo. They're very good team. Alright, so the next build is a bit of a fighter comp. Again, having a snake floating around on a fighter team is just absolutely crazy. This particular team, not exactly this comp, but fighters this season, with stuff like Pika and Luffy with the revive, and then obviously the nerfing that S-Snake can do. This particular team was a bit of a menace in terms of stalling. When it comes to defensive based teams, you either want good RNG to favor you, and then you just pick up some cheeky wins where people think that they have a high chance of winning, or you go in with these sort of defensive based builds. And the upside to the shooter team is that we have a lot of damage output. to take down this kind of stuff. And like, I always like to run the bird in the middle there. I know he's the showcase character, but the bird, you kind of want him to die. Like, you don't like want him to die instantly, but at the same time, you do want him to eventually cark it, so that way you get that special on death to then target something like Lulu, to target something like Kuma, Akainu, Kuzen. You're basically giving yourself an insurance to always have an attacking style unit with 3 attacking style units on the bench. And it sort of just works out in your favor. Ideally, you want it to go to Kuma. Ideally, you want it to go to Lulu because like they're your 2 hardest hitters. But still, having a Kainu and Kuzen go towards the back end of the fight, like they're still hitting ridiculously hard as well. Tsuru turns into damage instead of HP cutting, which is always good as well. Helps out a lot with just sort of cleaning up at the back end of a fight. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is the shooters don't have issues with damage so much. Like, the bench just comes in, they rock worlds, and having all Navy characters to be buffed by the bird still just works incredibly well. So Kainu and Kuzen are kind of like must brings, in my opinion, for those 2 bench nukers after Kuma. Like Kuma, he's still just an absolute demon. Obviously, being a strength character, he buffs the bird as well. But just having that 20% cooldown that the bird can give to Navy and World government units just allows Lulu to go multiple times and just put out a lot of damage. Plus, you've got to remember the bird is also doing 3,000 fixed damage too, which can help out quite a lot. So going up against these defensive teams like Fighters and Dex, even that sort of like quick recovery team that was floating around a couple seasons ago, like shooters just don't have too many issues going through them. If you really, really need to, you can always pivot Tsuru to the bench and then bring Kuma in the front. Just have him rocking there as a big damage hitter, and that's always just going to be the wave if you're going up against those sort of big bulky teams that really can't output a lot of damage against you. Because at the end of the day, shooters, look, they can be a little bit squishy. They can find holes in their makeup, as they're not necessarily prioritizing defense, they're more prioritizing stuff like offense. But the bird does bring defense to the team, and then obviously like with this particular lineup too, not only are you lowering the enemy defense, but you're just in a really, really good spot with your own. So it's always nice to see a team that has really good offensive power, but also has very good defensive capabilities as well. So the next fight I went up against is Vivi. Vivi's just incredible. In most aspects of the game, always ranking very high. This defense team is actually ridiculously big. It's not exactly like the pinnacle of like teams to use, but as a defensive based build, it is incredibly powerful. Like Jinbei is just an absolute menace. Definitely a very underrated PvP character. Obviously having Robin with the HP cuts, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji doing their thing, the nerfing of Law, and then the death shots of Garp, when you combine that with what Nami's doing, this team can just absolutely tear through lineups. And obviously being all 150 definitely makes it a lot more scary than just going up against it as a raw based build. So I definitely wanted to include this in the video. This like fight should have just been an easier cakewalk than it was, but unfortunately when you've got Garp doing something like this at 150 and then having a death shot to sort of back that up, it gets very, very scary. Plus, Robin's HP cuts obviously work exceptionally well with Garp. If Robin went before Garp, like, we pretty much die. So this is the epitome of a very good defensive-based team. It looks very easy to take down. It's 6 units. It's a side team. It's nothing too crazy. But at the same time, like, when you start breaking down the crux of it, like, you get hit with a Robin HP cut into a Garp special, you are going to lose units. Like, that's just simple maths at the end of the day. So, lucky for us there, we actually kill Garp. Garp comes in, does his special, does something like that. Very, very unfortunate. And then the bird will go, but unfortunately not have anyone to give any of his good stuff to. And that's a big issue with the bird. If he dies alongside all the attacking units, you're not actually going to get the benefits of the haste. You're not going to get the benefits of the full cooldown. However, at the end of the day, you still get the benefits of the nerfing capabilities that he has and the buffs that he gives your team. Plus, he does 3,000 fixed damage, which can help out towards the back end if you are losing some characters in your main lineup. Alright, so next we've got a bit of a bigger Driven Powerhouse team. I wanted to try and include Driven Powerhouse in this particular video because, look, I do think that the quick hybrid Driven Powerhouse team, it is probably still the best team in the game. I don't really see teams toppling that successfully every single time. We did put together a bit of a team that sort of has capabilities to beat it, but like the win chance is still 50-50. So in my eyes, it's not really a win con when you're relying on a coin flip. it's just how it is. But this particular comp for me wasn't that scary. The boar, the worm, they're very, very good. But if you put them on a pedestal with the bird as an overall unit, the bird, like, Mars just comes out on top. Like, he's doing so much for his teams, where the worm and the boar are kind of going onto an established team that doesn't really need their help. They're great additions to the team, and they're going to make the team stronger if you're missing pieces to the puzzle. But they're not the main puzzle like Mars is over here on the shooter team. Well, he's not the main puzzle, but like he is a staple now on the team. So was very excited to sort of get this in the video, because I did want to showcase some sort of driven, like bigger driven team against like the worm and the pig or boar, whatever you want to call him, and sort of show how shooters go up against it. Because in my opinion, at the moment, you've got that quick powerhouse driven team, and then you've got shooters, and then you've got strength, which is still shooter centric anyway. So like I said, it was nice to sort of go up against mainly the pig or the boar, because he can just be an absolute demon with avoiding stuff like the 3,000 fixed damage, the damage through defense that Lulu can give, and he's just an absolute menace as well. So it was very, very nice to sort of go up against something like this. And obviously having stuff like S-Hawk at their disposal, having stuff like Big Mom Katakuri at their disposal, you've got obviously S-Snake, the PP Legend, and Pikqchu. You can do some pretty crazy things with this kind of lineup, cross guild as well. But we did manage to get pretty lucky and take out cross guild and Pikqchu very early, which means that we could sort of just have our bench reliably come in and take out the rest of the squad. So let me know what you guys think is the best team of the game. From like I said, right now I'm leaning towards this sort of powerhouse-driven makeup. Just they have so many options at their disposal. But the upside to shooters is they also have a lot of characters that they can use too, if you guys don't have this particular makeup. As I mentioned at the start of the video, you have characters like S-Bear, you have characters like the Sword Donnies, you could run Kuma in the front if you don't have Suru, you have Frankie still, you have Sai Uta, you have a lot of different characters that work incredibly well. This is a perfect example of the power of the bird, giving that cooldown to Akainu. Love to see that. And then having Akainu come in, which is actually perfect, because Akainu doesn't do like fixed damage or anything like that, it's just pure damage, which is great when you're versing the boar. Now, another very powerful powerhouse-driven team that is hybrid, or it's more driven, I guess. This is just driven. A very powerful driven team that's floating around is just the straight-up Celestial Dragon 5 Elder team. With the help of S-Snake, because why the fuck not? S-Snake or Pikqchu just thrown in on this team just does so much work. Like, it's so damn scary. I do think the ball works best on the bench as well. Like, having Saturn in the front lines does give the team a little bit more tankiness. There was another variation that I went up against, like I said, with Pikqchu, and then they had the boar on the bench and Saturn in the front. That team, in my opinion, is a little bit harder to take down, especially with this kind of makeup. So, like, just showing the power of the 5 elders. And this particular comp that you see, like I said, I will definitely be pivoting the board of the bench and bringing Saturn in the front. But this particular makeup is the one that I want to try when it comes to the elders build. This particular team does seem to be the best version of it. I will try Pikqchu in that video as well, so don't stress. We'll get a bit of a gauge, but obviously, like, Pikqchu and S-Snake need 6 driven characters, and when you have the 5 driven characters, the elders who are all buffing each other, and then you just have like S-Snake and Pikqchu there just being a menace and just help, like, they just start nerfing the enemy into the ground. It just does wondrous things. I think having Pikqchu is probably a little bit better, because Pikqchu is going to get buffed by the bird, where S-Snake is not getting buffed by anyone except the boar, and the boar, like I said, I think the boar is probably just a little bit better on the bench. Upside to running Lulu is that Lulu's super special obviously targets powerhouse characters, so you get a lot of fixed damage output on that front, so you can do a lot of damage there. And then once Saturn sort of comes into the end there, like the fight's kind of over at this point, because we've put ourselves in a good spot, and we've had the super special of both S-Snake and Lulu. The boar hits pretty hard though, like as you can see, like 7,000 damage. It's bypassing defense. It can be a bit sketch, but at the same time, like I said, you kind of want to lose a couple of units. Not all your units when it comes to the shooter team, but you do want to lose a couple of units, because the more attacking based characters you have, the higher the stocks of the bird rise, and that way the bird can sort of just not only hit, say, Lulu, but you have the chance of hitting Akainu, like we saw in the last fight, just doing absolutely wondrous things. But you also have that 20% cooldown, which is now hitting a variety of different characters, not just Suru and Lulu. So Akainu 6 Plus is definitely one of the most underrated PvP characters. He's just so fantastic. And same with Kuzan too. I think Akainu's a little bit better, but like Kuzan is still a fantastic character nonetheless too. The board just bypassing all of this damage through defense is just so frustrating. Okay, so we lose Suru there. But again, now we just have our attacking best characters in, and once you're getting towards these last 25 seconds, you want as many attacking characters as possible. If we Oh no, we don't. I'll say if we lose the bird there, like this is perfect because then he's just going to give some haste and some cooldown to some of these characters. But let's get some special binding off, which is great, and then Kuma should do the rest. All right, there's the revive. The ball revive, like the double revive thing, is just so frustrating, and that's what makes it again another very very good defensive based team. You have 5 characters that synergize incredibly well, and the power of a very good PvP legend. But as I was saying earlier, one of the greatest strengths of shooters, is the flexibility that you have across the board when it comes to building out the team. Shooters just have so many different options, man. Like you can just throw on Esper in the front lines. You have the PvP Kizaru, who's another very very good Navy character. You could easily just build out, like say for example, Kuma in the front, and then you could just build out a Navy bench, being Akainu, Kuzen, and Kizaru. All shooter characters, all of strength decks are quick, and all Navy to get buffed by the birds. And then you could just easily protect the bird on the side there, and that's going to work out great too. So having that flexibility just allows you to just build out a variety of teams, and that's what makes it like a good team, is in the sense that, okay, if I don't have this piece of the puzzle, what can I use to replace it that isn't actually going to be a huge detriment to the team? Where if you look at some of those other, like I said, the big powerhouse quick driven hybrid team, if you're missing like Boa, like you have to then replace it with something like Quick Kaido or the Worm. I mean, the Boar's a great option as well if you have the Boar, but like if you don't have the traditional pieces to said puzzle, the team is going to really feel it, and it's going to make it harder and harder to actually see the effectiveness of said team. So shooters, they just, like I said, they have just so many good characters, and it's just a credit to the amount of subs they've been receiving, the amount of PP rare recruits and legends they've been receiving as well. And it's just really nice to see the power of shooters rise again when they were just basically forgotten at one point. Like they just stopped existing, to be honest. But now we're in a position where they are just back on top, and they are literally one of the best PvP teams in the game, and one of the most flexible PvP teams in the game. And the addition of the bird here is just, it's so astronomical. Like it's so crazy. It's like another Usopp Lilith without the rollback, obviously, but with the ability to lower cooldown reduction, give you cooldown reduction, make you move faster, make the enemy move slower, giving cooldowns to Lulu, who's your hardest hitter, and then like, yeah, I just wish the Seraphim actually, if the Seraphim were world government, which I feel like they should be, like, I mean, I guess they were part of like Vegapunk, and Vegapunk technically isn't world government, even though he was working for the world government. It's a bit of a weird one. But if the Seraphim were also part of world government tag, then you'd just be getting so much value from the bird. Like, you already are getting so much value from the bird when you have Sura in the lineup, when you have Akainu in the lineup, when you've got Kuzen, Kizaru, like, you're getting so much value there. But yeah, he just provides so much to the team. Also wanted to include this particular fight in the video, mainly because this is another very good defensive based comp, and it's my boy Itachi. And as you guys know, I love to pick on my boy Itachi, so if I could find a way to include him in the video just to beat up his defense team, you know, your ass I was going to do it. But to round out the video, we're going to finish it off with the biggest boy of today's video, and that is Bird going up against Bird, and that is my boy Dean over in AF. Going up against his strength team. This is a very, very big strength team, like a astronomically large strength team. We have 150s across the board except for Pikqchu. So very, very scary stuff. The main one obviously being S-Snake at 150. Her super special is just demonic. When you have her at level 150, just the confusion abilities, all that crazy stuff is just very, very scary. But the upside to our shooter-based build is we move very, very quickly. We manage to get our specials off very, very fast. The bird helps Lulu get his special off very, very quickly. Ideally, you want Suru to kind of go before the bird, so that way you get a little bit of HP cards off. You then get the 20% reduction back for Suru, and then you can have Lulu go after that. Ideally, you just want Lulu to make sure that he's taking out something. Like, Lulu wants to kill something, and he wants to kill it fast. Problem with that is you have characters like Akainu, you have characters like Kuma coming in, but like negative 11 cooldown reduction is just absolutely wild. It's so funny to see. Confusing the bird there is a little bit of a problem. We ideally want to hit like Kuma or S-Snake would have been great, because once S-Snake does something like this, it's very hard to come back from that. 20-second confusion is demonic. Like, there's a lot of confusion, man. It's a lot. So the bird manages to get his special off there as well. Ideally, the confusion would have stopped that, but unfortunately, it did not, which means that we take the special. We get the cooldown for Akainu, which is even more problematic. But then we have to take the Kuma special after that as well. So, like, a Kainu special is bad enough, but then, because of the damage over time, as you can see, killing Lulu. But then you have something like this kick in, and all of a sudden we're in a really, really bad spot. I believe here too, I was at the 1% mark. This is actually some pretty good RNG, I think. At least I think it is. We actually get the special of the bird off for the 3000 fixed damage. And then we get the 100% cooldown and the 100% haste. But the bird doesn't die, so we must be below 1% HP there. Because now, as you can see, we killed his bird, which gives the haste and the cooldown to, I believe, Kuma. And then my bird goes again because of the death shot, which then gives the 100% cooldown and the 100% haste to Kuzan. So now my Kuzan has haste, the Kainu has haste, and Kuma have haste. But lucky for us, we managed to kill Kuma, so we don't really have to worry about that. And literally just because of that one S-Snake special, we get put in a pretty tricky situation. But lucky for us, that 1% bird clutch was just absolutely insane, and that way we actually get the double haste and the double cooldown. But let me know what you guys think of the bird in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think of shooters down below too. Do you think it's the best team in the game? Do you think it's rose to the top again, or do you just like the strength team a little bit more? But like I said, let me know down below. Way down there, belt like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Shout out to all the homies in today's video as well. Our championship was a blast. I'll catch you all in the next one.